I do not decide cases based on personal or policy preferences. I am not a pro-plaintiff or pro-defendant judge. I'm not a pro-prosecution or pro-defense judge. I am a pro-law judge.
A show of independence from Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh siding with 4 liberal justices on this round, opting not to hear a case that called for the defunding of Planned Parenthood in some state Medicaid programs in Louisiana. Chief Justice John Roberts also voted against hearing that case, but conservative justices Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch criticized the move by Kavanaugh. Joining me now is Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. Judge, good to see you on this Monday evening.
Likewise.
So what happened here?
Well, this is the state of Louisiana lost in the lower courts as to whether or not the state has to use state funds to fund Planned Parenthood. And the Medicare regulations and Medicaid regulations say you have to. So the regulations are being challenged. Louisiana wanted to argue to the Supreme Court, we should be able to spend our money how we want. And the appeal process is to ask the Supreme Court for permission to hear the appeal. 4 justices is all it takes to require all 9 to hear the appeal. In this case, only 3 voted yes, the 3 you mentioned, Justices Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch, and 6 voted no. So the right to life community today is all a bother. Wait a minute. We thought Brett Kavanaugh was one of us. And I have to say to the right to life community, Brett Kavanaugh may very well be one of you. But on the court, he's going to make a decision based on the law. I wish he had voted yes. I would have been with the state of Louisiana. I don't think, like the president, that the state should have to spend tax dollars on Planned Parenthood. But there are a lot of reasons, aside from ideology, why justices will vote not to take a case. This is not the right case to take. We have other cases that are more important and more timely right now. This is a very technical issue about the standing of a person to sue a state. This is not on the merits of whether or not Louisiana must spend this money. When you vote not to take a case, you don't give the reasons why you're not taking it. So we don't know what Justice Kavanaugh was thinking. But I'm suggesting to people who are pro-life, they should not assume he is a traitor to them. They should assume that he's doing what he believes is the right thing under the law.
Well, that's what he said through the entire hearing, that he was going to be independent, and then he was going to look at the case and decide whether or not he thought it merited the appeal.
What is unusual is that the 3 dissenters taunted him with this. Not by name, but it was obvious who they were taunting in the 4-page dissent.
Because if he had been with them, it would have been heard.
Correct. Correct.
All right. I want to move on because I want to get your thoughts on the potential indictment of the president, which you have said you think is possible, even within the time frame of being president.
I don't know why the federal prosecutors in their these are federal prosecutors in New York City, in their submission to a federal judge here in New York on the sentencing of Michael Cohen, added, and this was directed and paid for by the president. But when they put that in there, they can't put it in unless they have evidence, and they can't make an allegation against anyone.
Is there any, I mean, what if they twisted his arm and said, look, if this isn't in here, if you don't say that this was at the behest of the president or that it had an impact on the election, you're not going to get a deal.
Well, then they twisted him to lie. But look, they're not saying where the evidence came from. They're certainly not putting forth Michael Cohen and vouching for his credibility. He just pleaded guilty to lying under oath. For them to have said this, and this is a very sophisticated federal prosecuting office, the most highly regarded in the country, once headed by Rudy Giuliani, Tom Dewey, once headed by Jim Comey. For them to have said that, they must have some corroborated evidence for it, because they can't ethically tell something to a federal judge that they can't prove. And the
president says, so what? It's not a big deal. Even if that, it's not a big deal.
I think it is a big deal.
It would be the lawyer's fault, he said.
Well, I don't know why they said it, but the fact that they said it means they have evidence to prove it, and they can't leave it dangling out there. You accuse the president of the United States of committing a crime, you better put up or shut up. You better prove it, or you better withdraw it.
Judge, thank you.
You're welcome.